given, the enormous challenge that Georgia Tech in an opening game at 1 o'clock represents. But it's hot on both sides. To say what our challenges are in this ball game, it goes without saying. I mean, how good Georgia Tech is, I hope I don't have to say a whole lot. I know I don't have to say a whole lot. I mean, you've got probably the premier offensive player in the league, and Jonathan Dwyer, and a quarterback that's proven his effectiveness. So, and really the whole offense returns with some improvement. Really, it's interesting that what we thought was our best offensive lineman last year is not even starting in this game. I don't know what that means, but and I won't call out names, but the guy that we thought was the best offensive lineman in the game against us last year is listed as somebody ahead of him on their depth chart. So, yeah, they've gotten better. In fact, there are 4 positions that we thought the starter was a significant player that have somebody else ahead of him on this initial depth chart. So, of course, one of them is playing for us, and that's Greg, which I am so grateful that we have. Greg is I told Greg, and I feel stronger now than ever before, I'm going to keep that guy. He's a football guy. He's a great leader. He mentioned to me he might want to coach. Well, he better run for me if he don't, because I'm going to be trying to make one out of it. But he'll be one of the captains for the game. He and Reggie Wade will be the captains for we have game captains. Reggie Wade is our center. But I want you to know this. Greg's been here 3 months. And Reggie Wade's a junior college transfer that's been here a year and 3 months. Something like that. There's been a lot of transition. The defensive captains, Brent Thomas, who walked across the tracks over here to play from Welborn. And the other 2 are sort of the down-the-middle guys that are all-conference, all-American players. Both of them are walk-ons. And Alexander Henderson and Cleasy, Cornell Clark. But one of them's an All-American, the other one's a pro prospect, the other one's all-conference. So they're good players. But they're going to be challenged. Where's the biggest challenge? Probably tackling Dwyer. Probably the biggest challenge. He's a very quick. He's not the first back taken in the draft. When his day comes, I'll be real surprised. And I've seen a few. Go back and look. That's probably our biggest challenge, and of course the scheme just presents enormous challenges to people. Just be real blunt with you. It's less of a challenge when you got a month to get ready for it, which LSU did, and the first team do, unless you have an open week before. Almost impossible, quite honestly, to change the style of play, just going from week to week. But we've had this extra time. Should have helped us. We ought to play better. I mean, last year we made a lot of mistakes. Not taking anything away from anybody, but when they pitch the ball out there and the guy's supposed to have to pitch is on the quarterback, it's a track meet. That ain't even football, And but that's what that offense presents you with. You got to play assignments. You can play as hard and as physical and as fast as you want to, and you go brain dead 1 second, it can be out the gate. That's why I used to coach this offense. I mean, I'm a big fan of this offense. I've told our coaches, don't let me watch this very long. I'll be changing what we're doing. Because it's almost like stealing running it today. Back when I coached it, everybody was playing against it to some degree, but it is almost like stealing to go out there. To be honest with you, we're going to try to make sure they don't steal nothing from us. like I said, we've had the time. You know, style of play, if it's an issue, it's just because we weren't responsible enough to take the time and use it the right way. Our kick returners, I'm going into it, are going to be Jamal Young, is our punt returner, and our kickoff returner will be James Wilkerson. We lost Dupree. He's still.
I don't know that they cut him from Thursday.
Yeah,
the next one's coming up.
He's still there, isn't he? Yeah. I'd be surprised if he's not around for a long time. I mean, when you put him out there returning kicks and what he can do as a receiver, I mean, he's so. We've lost, an All-American really in that regard, and Jamal is going to be, given a big responsibility, but I think Jamal will get there. So. What else I could say, guys? Field questions. Any questions?
Coach, when you say you want to play too deep offensively, is that more for health, or you still want to get another look at your players?
This is no experiment. We're not really going to play too deep, like 22 too deep. We're going to play some rotations everywhere. We don't have 10 offensive linemen. We've got a couple that we can rotate with some guys. But everywhere else we're too deep. We've got guys that certainly we got starters and they're older and they're more experienced, but we're going to be try to play a lot of players. And it's not going to matter what the score is, whether we do it or not. We'd be doing that no matter who we played. Basically an element of the weather, just a sheer factor of conditioning, and it's an element of having to get your depth where it needs to be early. But this is not a development game for us, It may be for them, but it's not for us. We're going to put them out there and make them, expect them to play.
Is Puckett your only battlefield commissioner?
Honestly, I think there's 5 others who are right on track to do the same thing. I've really been impressed. We've done that 24 times since we've been here. He's actually be the 25th battlefield commission since we've been here. And I think inside that group there's some more of them.
Well, if he's the only guy that you've committed
right now that I've told him for sure.
Do